Before he was a saint, before banners, before crosses, before stories were written, there was only a man and a land afraid to breathe. The people lived close to the water and close to the rocks. They learned to keep their voices low. They left offerings, not out of worship, but out of hope, because something lived beyond the edge of the known world, something older than fear itself. It did not come every day. That was worse. It came when it chose. A shadow across the hills, the sound of wings where there should have been only wind, firelight where there should have been darkness. So the people waited. One morning, a stranger rode in, a soldier, worn by travel. His armor was plain, his manner quieter still. He listened more than he spoke. They told him of the creature, of the fear, of the cost, and when they finished, he did not turn away. George rode toward the place no one else would go, not because he believed himself stronger, but because he believed fear should be faced. The ground was scorched, the air was thick, and then the dragon emerged. It was vast, ancient, neither beast nor dream, but something in between. Steel met scale, fire met resolve. George was thrown, wounded, broken to the ground. And then he stood again. The battle did not end with triumph. It ended with stillness. Whether the dragon was slain or whether fear itself was broken, the land fell silent. George did not stay for praise. He walked away as he had arrived, and the people remembered the courage longer than they remembered the fire. Now, what do we really know? The real George. George was not born into legend. He was born into the Roman Empire in the late 3rd century. He was a soldier, a Christian, and in a time when faith could cost you your life, he refused to deny what he believed. Around the year 303, George was executed under the rule of Emperor Diocletian. He died not as a hero of stories, but as a man of conviction. Where did the dragon come from? The earliest accounts of George say nothing of a dragon, no monster, no maiden, no battle. Those elements appear much later, hundreds of years after George had died. The dragon was added by storytellers, not historians, but that does not make it meaningless. Why a dragon at all? Across the world, dragons appear again and again. In Europe, creatures of fire and fear. In China, symbols of wisdom and power. In the Americas, great serpents of sky and earth. These cultures did not borrow from one another, yet the stories look strangely familiar. Why? Bones, fear, and imagination. Ancient people found enormous bones in the ground. They did not know the word dinosaur. They knew only that something vast had once lived. Add to this the deepest human fears, snakes, predators, creatures from above, and the dragon begins to take shape, not as an animal that lived, but as a symbol that made sense of the unknown. Why England chose George? George was not English. He never visited England. He never knew its flag. But centuries later, England chose him. A soldier who stood firm, a figure of courage without conquest, a story of faith facing fear. The legend became a mirror, not of history, but of values. Closing reflection. Perhaps dragons never walked the earth, or perhaps they lived exactly where stories live, in the place where fear takes shape and courage decides what comes next. And perhaps that is why, after so many centuries, we are still telling this story.